All right, guys. So I just want people in the chat to start telling us that they could hear us loud and clear.
Loud and
Can
clear.
Can everybody hear us in the chat, in the comments, the people watching? Looking for Carissa, Gothic, Breenix. Anybody hear us loud and clear, guys? Hi. Cool kid. Could everybody hear us? Wait a minute. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we're heard. Yes. Somebody just tell us that you could hear us, please. Yep. Okay. Very good. Great. Loud and clear. All right. Great. Well, I think I have somebody here. Hang on one second. All right. Rebecca, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you? You feeling
All
okay?
right. I'm feeling a lot better from that shot that kicked my butt. Yes.
Yes. Good.
Yes. Last one of
good.
those.
Good.
So I won't be getting any more vaccines, but I did complete the 2-shot shingles shot.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Wow.
So Rebecca, we have a few people on that I don't even know. So would you like
I think I recognize Laura. I've seen her at the cemetery visiting Corey, I believe, correct?
Time I met you, Rebecca. I just wrote the mom that heard her story. Matter of fact, I don't know this, but my son Gino was Corey's age. And the first time I moved to New Jersey, I met your daughter and Corey for a minute or two. And they rolled around as they had to be 1.5 to 2 years old on a hill in Thompson Park. A brief
moment. Goodness.
I heard what happened. I knew I remembered him.
Wow.
I'll cry. So just talk.
Wow.
So do you know Lillian?
I don't know. I don't see anything except the little white circle. Not by name.
Okay. So I'm just ignorant to this, so I'm just gonna ask. How did Lillian and Laura know to be here?
Well, I got a message that you were going live.
Okay.
I've been following this case for a long time.
Okay, that's Lillian I'm talking. Lillian, is that you saying that? All right. Well, yes. I got to be honest with you. I 100% thought you invited these people.
Oh, me? No. Well, I mean, I post it in the group and hope that people will come and listen.
Right.
So,
okay. Well,
I'm glad you're here, everybody.
Yeah, I'm glad everybody's here too. But what I want to do is, yeah, I thought that you brought these people up for a reason because of whatever it was you wanted to talk about besides the letter. So
no.
That's why. So let me just say that it's not that I'm not okay with this. It's just that this wasn't what I expected, because I didn't expect people to be behind stage except for the people that we would have invited. So if you don't have a problem with these people, I don't have a problem with these people being here.
I'm happy to have them.
Dottie, that grandson, that daughter, and Rebecca herself created an army of us years ago.
Okay, that's fine. It's just her time on this channel, and I just want to give it to her the way she wants it. And there was obviously, I took for granted you guys were here because you were invited by her, but that's fine. As long as she's fine with you guys being here, I'm fine with you guys being here.
I am more than happy to have, I wouldn't care if 500 people showed up. If we could get them up here on the screen, that would be fine with me. The more
okay, well, you have a bunch of people that are watching, just so you know, good. in the chat and stuff.
Good.
Okay.
So I don't know where you want to start, but I think you remember in my email, I told you I couldn't do this live and read my letter until Bree made her announcement. And some of you may have heard Bree's announcement. Toddy, did you hear it yet?
I did not hear it. I was out taking care of my
Can you see this?
New baby.
Oh, congratulations. What? How many? Wait. Hold it up again. Let me see again. Number 3 and 4. So
twins.
That's what. Oh my goodness! Congratulations. Please
Isn't that wonderful? Thank you. But she kind of messed up my letter, because when I wrote in my letter to asshole, I didn't know that we were getting 2. I told him about 1. So Bree kind of had to mess that up for me, but that's okay. I'll write to him in March and let him know what's going on.
Let him try to figure it out. I wouldn't mention twins, just mention the other and see if he can figure out that it'll be twins.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was, I was waiting for Bree to make that announcement that, you know, she was expecting before I read my letter, because I talked about it in my letter. So that's why I had to wait until tonight, because she just went for the ultrasound today and found out it was twins. And
that is so awesome.
Yeah, we're really happy and a little overwhelmed at the same time, you know,
I'm
just
sure
thinking about it, but it'll be fine.
Everybody in the chat is very happy. I'm reading all these congratulations from a twin to a twin.
We have twins in my family, and Sean has also in his family, so it was probably bound to happen to, you know, eventually. So I think
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does that mean that they're going to have to find a new place, or is there enough room for twins?
It's so funny because when they thought they were having one last week, Sean went out and got a new SUV with a third row seating. And so today they came right after the ultrasound. They were coming for dinner, and he was in and out like the front door, walking, pacing up and down the sidewalk. I'm like, oh my God, look at this guy. And he's like, we have to have a house now. We have to have a bigger place. You know, he's like happy that he got the new car, but now it's like, oh my gosh, we need it. You know, they have 2 bedrooms right now. So yeah, they're now exploring that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy
too.
for them. That's awesome.
It's so funny because
you too.
Thank you. Bree never had like an actual real boyfriend before. I mean, she had boyfriends, but like Sean's an actual man and father. And it's just so weird for us because we don't know how to act. We've never had that, you know? So it's, I still worry. And then I think, oh, I don't have to because I know she's okay, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's, we needed good news, more good news, you know, enough of the, you know, it's always a funeral or a death, or, you know, or something bad. So good news is you were happy to have it. Definitely.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can read my letter if you want. It's not that long. And I know a lot of people here don't really know me, but if you've gotten to know me a little bit, you'll understand that I hate Chris Greggor. I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel called I Hate Chris Greggor. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided, but I hate him and didn't like him when he was here. Don't like him while he's in jail. I don't like him anywhere. He wasn't nice to me. So we had this, I don't want to call it a relationship. I don't know what you would call it. But he had certain
correspondence, communication, correspondence.
I guess. But we had certain things that we would say to each other. And I know things that get to him because I've gotten to him before. So I know what things might trigger him. And that's my goal. I want to piss him off in jail enough that maybe he'll say something to the wrong person and get his ass beat. That's my goal here. Never want to let her back from him. Don't care if he ever writes me back. I just want to piss him off and let him know that we're out here in the free world living and he's not. So that's, you know, these letters are therapeutic. I enjoy writing them. I actually sometimes laugh when I'm writing them like a crazy person. I cry a lot too. And it does wonders for me, for my mental health. So that's why
I know that you've shared with me that you're struggling a little bit with the book. And I got to be honest with you, you know, as somebody that used to spend decades writing, you struggle with books.
Yeah, it's, you know, I've never written before. I'm not a writer, you know, but it's a story that I lived. It's in my head. I'm still living it. But sometimes I start and I can write 3 words and I'm like, I can't do this today, you know, and then there's other times that I can't stop. Like I just keep going, you know.
Well, if I could just tell you that what I've learned most important about writing and about basically anything is however you get it done. So you don't even have to go into like a book format per se. Like every day you could write a letter to Christoper Greggor, and these letters could all be composed into a book
Yeah.
I hate Christoper Greggor. And that actually would tell your story, because those are your emotions that are changing every day.
Right.
So
Right.
that's an idea.
I plan to put the letters in the book. There'll be court documents in the book, because I know a lot of people had some questions. A lot of people had some doubts about my family and Bree, so I'm going to prove it to everybody. Everything that we've always said was always 100% by including some of the documents, the court documents in the book, because I just want to say to people, see, I told you. I just, sometimes feel the need to do that, because there were a lot of people that were a little, what's the word? I don't know, not nice.
They weren't nice. But again, you got to remember, a lot of those people that weren't nice, I don't think that they want to feel safe. They want to feel like if you do everything right, that nothing that happened to Corey or Brianna or your family is ever going to happen if you do things right. So instead of feeling safe instead of not feeling safe within a system that we're supposed to feel safe with, they're going to try to protect themselves by looking at something bad. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
There's nothing you have to prove to anybody, just
Yeah.
so you know, and you know that. You know what
Oh,
I'm
no, I
saying?
totally know that.
And you're
It's,
still going to have naysayers that still want to be naysayers, even if you show them documents, because then you're going to have, well, are the documents real? Aren't the documents? People are only going to believe honestly, but what they're willing to believe,
right.
no matter how hard you try. That should never be your exercise or effort, in my opinion. But of course, this is your life and you have to live it your way. But you have 99% of people knowing that you did everything right. But I know that one voice is always the loudest. The one that says the negative is always the loudest. It's the one that sticks and
Right.
stuff.
Right. Right. But anyway, you want me to read it now?
Whenever you're comfortable.
Okay. And before any negative people want to comment on, I don't know how to start a letter. I don't write Dear Chris or anything. I start off where I left off. He doesn't deserve to be called Dear anything. So I know how to write a letter, because I know some people are very critical. So I'm just letting you know, it's just the way I talk to this piece of shit.
Okay.
So it starts out, and another month is almost over. Did you think I'd stop writing if you ignored me? It's really starting to sink in. Corey is dead, and you killed him. I wonder if you or your family has accepted it. I was always told if you lie long enough, you start to believe your own lies. I look at pictures of Corey and I just can't understand why you would hate him so much. He was absolutely beautiful, smart, loving, and caring. All the things you are not. Maybe that's why you disliked him so much. So where did we leave our last letter? Oh, yes. So you moved to Barnegat to be near Uncle Daddy and to make things difficult for everyone. And so nobody in your family had to witness what you were doing to Corey, because if you don't see it, then it didn't happen. So many people could have stopped you, but they looked the other way. I blame your family, several law enforcement agencies, family court, DCP&P, but mostly you. I said we'd talk about your attorney in this letter, but really, what can I say about Luigi? That is his name, right? He didn't do much. I kept waiting for him to perform, but he just sat there mostly looking at his phone. I'll bet your family was upset. I mean, they sold their house to pay him, right? I guess you won't be getting an inheritance. How would that happen anyway? If they expire while you are in there, does the inheritance get put aside for you? Your siblings would probably cut you out anyway because you've cost the family so much already. Does that bother you, the thought that your parents might be dead before you get out? What will you do? Convicted felons have a difficult time securing gainful employment. So I'm assuming you've gotten comfortable with your surroundings. The ugly green chipped paint, the sound of doors slamming, inmates yelling, the smell of piss and other bodily fluids. That's what I remember about Rahway and the weird dome shape of the building. I'm told Trenton is more unpleasant. I remember sitting in the visitors' room, a big cafeteria, all the inmates and their visitors crammed together. You could buy ring-dings and Cheetos from a vending machine. I can't picture you and your parents doing that, but damn, I'd pay to see it. I asked you to put me on your visitors list. I'm sure you will soon. I know you were probably in the law library working on your appeal. How's that going? While you were sitting in there, life is going on for everyone. Katie has 2 kids and a husband or boyfriend. She was smart to run from you, but I only wish she would have told me what you were doing to Liam and Corey. Leo is married and having baby number 2. Ashley is married and about to be a mom. And then there is Bree. She is blessing me with my 3rd and 4th, I wish I could fix this, grandchild. Let that sink in, Chris. You tried so hard to destroy these women, and they picked up the pieces and moved on. You won't have any more kids, thank God. You are not father material. Is Laura still around? She'll grow tired of telling you what you want to hear eventually, and she'll find someone else, possibly another inmate doing less time. I know you will be angry when you get out, and you'll want to make those of us pay for what you think we did to you. I'll probably be dead by then, but if you want to piss on my grave, I'll be near Corey. I've done some research and have only been able to find 2 pictures of you with Corey. One was the first hike you and Katie took him on, and the second was the selfie you took when Corey was about an hour from death. I'm sending you that picture. I want to remind you of what you did. I often wonder if he said anything to you while you were ending his life. I had what I thought was a dream about him. I had what I thought was a dream about him just after you took him from us, but I found out the next day that I wasn't sleeping. Bree was walking past my room to go into the bathroom. Richie was walking into my room with our dog, and Corey was walking with him. I sat up in bed and reached for Corey. He walked towards me with his arms out, but disappeared just before I could touch him. When I woke up the next day, I told Richie and Bree about my dream, and they informed me that I wasn't dreaming, that I was awake, and they witnessed me reaching for Corey. I believe Corey came to me because we were so close, and I believe I will one day find out exactly what happened on April 2nd. 2 people were there that day, and one is a murderer. On that note, have a nice day. And that's it.
So you wanted me to put up this picture?
Yeah, that's the only, well, that's one of the 2 only pictures that are ever, nobody has ever seen any other pictures of Chris and Corey other than this one when Corey was about an hour from death. Chris took this selfie. I think he thought it was cute. I don't know. Look at his evil face. You know, disgusting. And the other one I couldn't find, but it was just a picture of Chris and Corey standing about 3 feet apart. They were on a hike. It was the first time he'd ever taken Corey somewhere on his own.
I think I've seen that picture.
Yeah, so those are the only 2 pictures that I've ever been able to find of Chris and Corey. None of his family had pictures anywhere. There were none in their home. So these were the only ones. But I sent this to Chris because I thought he might want to look at his handiwork, maybe give him something to think about.
And this was right before Corey went. And
it was about an hour before Corey passed away. So,
and look at the face on this guy. I mean,
it's terrible. He's evil. Do you see that?
I do see that.
He is evil. He's evil.
I do see that.
The eyes, black eyes.
Yep. He's like,
and obviously Corey is not coherent.
No, if you could see the picture better, when we were in court, his lips were already grayish blue. He was dying. He was
I'm so sorry.
about an hour from death in that picture, because the picture was time stamped, and then we see what time he was walking into the emergency room with him, and it was within about an hour. And he thought to take a selfie of this kid like this. Why do you think he took that picture?
I don't have a clue. It looks like he was showing somebody that he was with his son. You know what I mean? It looks like he was proving something.
Or that he broke him down. Or that he broke him down.
Snuggling his sick son on the couch under the same blanket.
I don't understand that, because I honestly didn't know, I mean, I knew now and I knew before now, but when I first saw that picture, I honestly didn't know that, until you guys said that was taken right before. And I was like, what? Then I didn't understand the purpose of the picture.
Yeah.
It really looks like he's saying, look, Dad, he's with me. He's here. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? With the look on his face. But it all changes when we find out when the picture was taken and what happens an hour later.
I feel like he could have taken it for, another reason too. My thought is, that would be the last picture ever taken of Corey and had to be with him. I don't know. We'll never know. Doesn't matter. I just sent it to him anyway, because I know I don't think he has a phone in jail. And, I thought he might want to see it again. Because
he doesn't have a phone in jail, but he probably has one of those tablets.
Yeah, he does have an iPad, because that's how they communicate. I guess they get email and stuff. So
now, when you write to him, do you write to him snail mail or do you write to him email?
I did both this time, because somebody on the inside told me I should also send a handwritten letter. So I did both. Hopefully, maybe one of the guards will read it and pass it around, let everybody know.
No, they have to read it.
Yeah.
I mean, those, they have to be open and read before they're given to them. They're never going to just give them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll skim through the letters and stuff.
Yep.
I have a few more people that seem to be on here. Do you want to open this up and talk? I don't know if people have questions.
Sure. If anybody wants to ask anything, if they're.
Okay. So I'm going to take this picture down to make room for some people. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. And I'm wiping my nose on my sleeve because I didn't bring a tissue. So excuse me.
You want to go get one?
No, because it's upstairs and I can't go up the stairs. I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right. So I have so who's on here? I have a Lillian, a Laura. Okay, so this person's not on there. I have a Jody. Hello, Jody. Are you there?
I am.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you're here you want to ask something to Rebecca?
I'm just all for the family and everything bad for Gregory.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. I'm going to bring up Synth. Rebecca's, I don't know. Let's see what this is. That might be, who is that?
Oh, yeah, that's my partner in crime in this book.
Hi, Miss Rebecca.
Hello.
How are you? Congratulations to you and Miss Bree and the baby and this daddy.
Thank you.
I could see him pacing, so adorable. He's probably thinking, do they make 4-row cars? They do. Yeah. You see the Mormons with them. They're like a Nissan. They look like a utility truck. It's kind of funny because they have so many kids in the car. Because you have to think of, for each kid you have, eventually as they get older, they have a friend. So my sister-in-law had 4 kids, and they were all pretty close in age. and they had to go get an old Suburban because it was like really the only thing they could find that they could load up all of the kids with their friends and all of the stuff that they carry in the back of the vehicle. So there might be one of those in the future. Tell them to start now.
Yeah, a little bus or
Rebuilding one.
Yeah.
But I wanted to come on here and just kind of give everybody an update, because I know, with the book and everything going on, I happened to meet Ms. Rebecca from being a mod on Guilty of Crime. And I connected with her and she honored me with saying yes. And so she sends me her tidbits and I leave it as much as I can close to her voice because she's had some bad experiences with so called professionals that should be sued to get the money back. And, it's not going to be a bedside book like something Walter Isaacson wrote for Elon Musk. Okay, we're not talking that level, but it's not going to be quite as kooky as Jay's level either. Because when you hear it, it needs to be in her style, and you need to hear her voice saying what she's saying. I want it to sound like it sounds like when you read it. Like she says, she doesn't start with deers. It's very stream of thought, very much here, there, here, there, here, there. And you have to be able to know why she's going to those tangents and then bringing it back. So there would be like there's going to be like headers, but they're not necessarily going to be like chapters. It's going to be more like a journal. We're going to insert the pictures of the evidence or from the trial or from his little memorials or gravesite or anything we want to, of course, everything is final say is Miss Rebecca. I am just helping her get it so that it makes sense with, not changing her voice, just doing the editing and the typos and making it have little blocks so that there are spaces that if a person needs to stop and take a breath, they can do that because a lot of it will have triggering things for some people who are in the true crime community. It's because we've probably all got trauma bonding. We're all finding each other in this media because something has happened that just pulls at our heartstrings and you feel compelled to do something. And it's nice to see because as we get more and more of these crazy stories, we realize there's a lot that still needs to be done. And I just wanted to let people know it's not Rebecca's fault. I'm a little behind. I'm on the last class of my BA. Then I'm trying to get into my law school. I also started a business with my daughter who's special needs because she's turning 21 soon and she has to have this achieved by the time she graduates this year. So there's that. And then I'm homeschooling my other son. So in the middle of all of those fun things, I get in there when I can and edit as Miss Rebecca sends me things. So it's very, as she's going along, she sends me whatever. I try to do what I can, and we're building the document as it goes along. But yeah, I want to say we will have it out by summer for sure.
That's awesome.
That's the goal because I really will be able to get into the beef of it, like the end of April, like May, June. I'm gonna just be able to concentrate on that because my husband's gonna be on a break from his school. The children will be out of school. They won't need me, doing all of that help. I help with them. So I'll be able to really get in there. And that's when we're going to start doing it's going to go pretty fast once we get there. I've learned everything you need to know about Kindle. So I can print it and it looks good and it'll look good on a phone and on a tablet and on a websites and the different sizes of the computer screens. There's so much technical stuff. You have no idea. It's so.
I have a couple books out on Kindle. I know the format. Yeah.
God bless all of those people. But I love to learn and I love to get into the back, see how it works behind the screen. I always was one of those people. I used to help do the scenery in theater and stuff. You know, somehow I'd be forced on the stage, but I always started out, painting the castle on the backdrop of the thingy, I don't know how it happens. So I just wanted everyone to know so that, at least on here, it's showing, yes, there's a book. It's coming. We're working on it. And it'll be very therapeutic to have a book you can put in your hand, because that's her end goal, is to have, I'd like to be able to like gift it, as like figure out how we can have that just be like gifted so that people can get the paperback version of it, and we'll figure it out. I'm learning about grants. Oh my gosh, I'm learning about grants and grant writing and grant proposals. So I'm gonna figure it out and we're gonna get it done.
There you go. There you go. We have let's see. Lillian, did you want to say?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
I see you. I have Lillian and Laura, and there was a John. John, I was just getting ready to reach for you, John, and you dropped out on me. So, Lillian, did you want to say anything to Rebecca?
I just want to say God bless you.
Thank you.
And everything you've gone through.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The story, like I told you, when we were emailing, the story, people unfortunately can relate to it in their nightmares. If they can't relate to it, if it hasn't happened to them, it's their worst fear. To have, a child not go through life and, die at the age that they're supposed to die, which is after we're gone. You know what I'm saying? So even though people haven't, experienced that loss, they definitely can.
I just want to say one thing to Rebecca, is that you gave me the will to fight for my grandkids with DCP&P because they were horrible. My grandchildren were with their mother being abused, alcohol, everything. And then I brought your case up to them and it changed their whole perspective.
Yeah, they don't want to hear about Corey Micciolo. They know they screwed up. They don't want to talk about it.
Yep.
So.
And I thank you for that.
Well, I'm glad. Unfortunately, I hate that we even have a story. I hate that there is a justice for Corey and a Corey story, but I'm glad it can help someone else. That's our goal, to help other people now. So.
Well, that's the thing that's happening now. And through that, Corey's name is going to live on forever. His legacy, is going to be huge. I mean,
yes, it will.
It's nothing like having your grandchild and, that missing those milestones. I'm not that there's no comparison. There's no comparison. No.
And you can never replace them ever.
No.
But the fact that the story can help and make a difference and perhaps even change laws, that's a huge thing, Rebecca. That's a huge thing. And this void that you have, it's never going to be filled completely, but through some of the stuff to help others, it might be filled a little bit. It might turn into something else.
May I say something?
Yes.
Sure.
That's a big reason too why I started helping as a child advocate and as a child survivor of myself. Though I have to say, some of these cases in the last week I've heard have made my dad look like a saint, and I didn't know that was possible. But I'm coming from a poor background, coming from a hectic background. Sometimes you're just trying to keep your head above the water. And sometimes you're told something so long that it takes you a hot it takes you a while before you have enough confidence through whatever circumstances that you finally go, okay, I'm gonna like go above and beyond and stop blaming what happened to me around me, even though I might not have had anything to do with it because I was a child. You carry a lot of those kind of burdens. And so I started going to college in like I was 48. I just am 52 now. And I am going to be a child advocate. They call them minors counsel in California, where you're the lawyer for the children because there's just not enough. Some states call them guardian ad litems. So they really help cases like this. Madeline Soto. I see so many similarities. Days are really important when people have same days. I just found out about that poor little girl. Oh, I can't remember the name now, but anyway, I want to say Gothic Breeze on here and JoJo. And they know I'm like doing 17 things. So thank you, Bree, for reminding me to get on here because I did want to say something. And I know I had put it on like 6 post-it notes around here, but I lost my mind. So I just wanted to say that, and then I'm going to get off. But I wanted to let you know that it's an honor to work with you, Rebecca. And I really want to keep it to your word. And I don't want to do any disservice to it. So I'd rather us go slow, nice and steady and nice and slow than try to just turn out something crappy just to get it out. We want to do justice.
I appreciate your help, and I know we're going to get it done, and you're going to let me do it my way. And even though I curse and there's some X-rated stuff in there, you're going to let me do it anyway, right?
Exactly. We might bold and put them in quotations, and we might do fancy stencil around it. Who knows, right? I mean, there's a time and a place, and if that's where the right word goes, that's where it goes, because people need to know. I mean, what's my new YouTube name now has everything in it because I'm just so done. It's just, FAFO, no filter, scary, sassy, sarcastic synth. Because I'm like, I just want you to know as soon as I come there, I'm just letting you know. Don't be confused. I'm giving you a warning. I'm your trigger warning. I'm just letting you know. But when you have these situations, if you can get that message, that voice out to help others, to heal others, to help connect and make a community. I mean, we are all over the world. Prayer is an amazing thing. We can be anywhere in the world and think of each other and hopefully go, I felt something. Somebody's thinking of me. Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah, no, I know.
So
you have a question here from the chat, Rebecca. That this is a new YouTube channel, actually, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and plug Milk, Honey, and Mayhem. This is somebody who subscribed to my channel a long time ago. You guys probably know who it is, but check out her channel. But she does have a question. Do you ever let Bree read the letters before you send them? Has she read any of them?
No.
Okay.
And I don't even know if she listens to me read them, and she doesn't need to.
Okay.
I think it would be upsetting, some of it. I think she'd get a laugh. Sometimes I tell her 1 or 2 things I put in there and she does laugh, but no, this is my deal,
Right. Well, it's a legitimate question for sure. I just want to get some of the questions that I didn't mean that you didn't, because I everybody in your family has got their own journey of grief to go through.
Exactly.
You as a grandmother, Bree as a mom, everybody involved is going to go through their own journey of grief.
Yeah.
So,
that is a legitimate question. I'm sure a lot of people wondered, and I'm sure people wondered, has Bree written to him, or she has no desire to.
Right.
Well, and a lot of times, when this happens, people want to, they question why didn't she do more? like the people that like take the kid and go to Argentina or something,
thought
you
about
know, and some of us just don't think that way, you know, and some of us believe the system would do something, and they did everything they could. I mean,
Because
short of walking around with a
everybody tries
katana
to, they
and
try to follow the law.
you know,
And
head to
then,
toe body
yep.
cam and sensors and a bodyguard that went everywhere with that poor child, which, you know, how many of us can afford that? It you try to do the right thing, and it sucks when it comes back and bite us in the butt, but then we take that and we say, now how do we make this better? How do we make it better?
We talked about Bree running away with Corey. As a matter of fact, the night before Corey passed away, Bree had him at the hospital. I'm sure most of you know this. And her phone died. She didn't have a charger. And I didn't hear from her for, I don't know, 3 hours or something. And I thought, oh my God, she did it. She ran away with him. And all I kept thinking is, how am I going to know where they went? How's she going to contact me? How am I going to help her now? I don't know where they went. And then she had a nurse call me, and I took a phone charger to her. I realized she was still at the hospital, but we talked about that, her leaving with him. And I thought, well, what kind of life would Corey have on the run? He wouldn't be able to go to school. You couldn't register him for school or anything, because then he would be found. And when law enforcement caught up to Bree, she would be arrested, and Corey would probably have been taken away from her and with Chris 24.
Right. Yeah. It's always a choose your own adventure. And you don't know till you get to the end of that thing and go back to where the path diverted. Darned if you do, darned if you don't, you know.
I cannot imagine as a mom knowing that you have to send him to that monster and sitting there thinking, if
Laura,
I send,
that has to change. That's what has to change. Think about this.
It has to. Even if she were to say, give him to anybody that you deem safe, just don't give him to him. As a mom, knowing that, but knowing that if you don't send him, you could be arrested and taken away and have him forever.
Right. And see, this is where laws have to change. At the hospital that night, the doctor knew what was going on. He was told. DCPMP was in contact with the doctor, but yet nobody said, well, we can't send this kid home. Nobody did that. And that has to change. Our hospital staff has to be educated. Something, I don't know what's going on in the world, but they have to do that.
The sad thing is back in 1984, when I was 15 and a half, I was in a car accident where I rolled over 16 times. I hit a boulder and landed on the tires. They had to use the jaws of life. I think last year I figured out my dad was probably really trying to kill me, and it didn't work because he had been trying to, he said, do something with the cruise control. But whatever. And he left me there for 6 hours. And all I could think of, my brother who was 8 years younger than me, is if I say anything, he's going to do something to Christopher. If I say anything. So every nurse that came in, every person that came in, the police that came in, no, everything's fine. I just need to go home now.
Your brother.
You know, because you're so brainwashed.
They're afraid.
So brainwashed, and you are so in a state of, they're going to do it. These are people that are not afraid to do what they say they're going to do. Okay. Why people are surprised, I don't know. They are given leakage left and right. This lady in Michigan with the kids, they said a neighbor that had just moved in noticed that the mom would sit out there with some other person for hours. And I said, she's probably calling them and saying, I see you moving around in there. I see you getting close to that window. I see you. What did I say? You better go run in that room. Because my dad would do that crap to me all the time. He'd leave me in front of a Kmart for 5 hours standing in the rain, and me trying to figure out what car or truck or motorcycle he's going to come and pick me up in. They love it. They feed on it. And it's disgusting. So, you know, this was in the 80s, mid 80s, and here we are still. How many years later is this? So,
40.
I mean, we really do, at least now with this kind of stuff and media, we are actually being able to like connect with people in more of a way that's things are getting a little more rapidly. And unfortunately, another reason why I'm going into law is because it is slower than molasses. Everything takes so long, unless you're the president and you can do an executive order. Everything takes so long, to get a restraining order, to get a parenting plan, to get a whatever it is in the state that you need, those hoops that you have to go through to separate if you were married, if you weren't, if you were over here, if you were over there, where was the child for the last 12 months. I mean, it's amazing the hoops you go through, because I had to go through that with my husband's first child that we found out 9 years later wasn't his child. So,
personally, when you mention restraining orders, I mean,
yeah,
I don't have much use for a piece of paper. It's not going to stop a bullet or a knife or a car that's
right.
running.
But
or a
again,
crazy person, or a person that you're going to get the restraining order out on.
right. Because
Yeah.
again, in
You're
law,
going that
until
far.
something actually happens, nothing can get activated. It's
Yep.
like having, I have a lot of allergies. So I don't know if we all know this, but you have MRSA in your body until it actually activates. And then it's not so good. And then it's there forever. Then you have to be careful about everything, just like the diabetes, stuff like that. And so
Right.
we don't realize that it may not be something that will connect now. There are more far reaching things down the road, you know. But again, in the sharing, there's healing. And thank you for having Rebecca on. I was not familiar with your channel, so I wanted to say thank you for giving her a platform.
Of course,
Because
of course.
Rebecca is a sweet grandma. She deserves so much goodness. And yeah, when you read some of the stuff Corey did to Bree, you'll understand a lot more why a lot of this stuff just was.
No,
You try to do the best you can in the circumstances you're in, and that's what they did. But I mean, like Job, she's getting double blessings now. So amen and amen.
Excuse me, Rebecca.
So,
And Dottie, I have to get off because my son's making me watch the new Sonic movie. Rebecca, congratulations. Please send my love to Bree. She knows me, and I'm so glad she found that man. I visit with my boys all the time. We babysit him. He's right up the block from our house, so always know we're always stopping in to check on him. And you're a strong grand reason why you're here right now. Dottie, thank you for having her. It's very important to hear her.
you're welcome, Laura. Thank you for coming on.
I'm going to follow. Thank you so much. I didn't mean to be on live, by the way. I was just trying to listen.
No worries. No worries. No worries.
Do I look terrible?
Well.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. Rebecca, keep doing it. If you ever need an artist for your book to draw some pictures, I'm the one.
Thank you.
Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye. So
Bye-bye.
there is a question here. It's about, how did you get a hold of that photo that we put up? The one that,
that was the prosecutors presented it in court. It was part of the evidence when they took Chris's phone. So that was a picture that he took, and the timestamp was about an hour prior to Corey's death. That's how
you don't know if he was trying to send that to somebody. You don't know that or not.
It never came up. Did he send it to somebody or not? I know he was communicating with a few different women that day. I don't know if he, sent it to one of them, or I'm not sure. They never really did say that he did or didn't. But yeah, that's how we got the picture. It was in court. So
I know that you can't talk about the Justice for Corey thing or the lawsuit, but do you see any? I don't want to talk about the lawsuit at all, because that's something that we shouldn't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But do you see any kind of, or do you feel any kind of shift for that the laws are changing, that this has said, whoa, man, we better be careful because now eyes are on? Is there anything that you feel?
I feel like they're changing in other states. I haven't noticed anything here in New Jersey. It's so, I don't even know how to try to make changes or get change. You know, I've reached out to the hospital, for instance, you know, where Corey was, and you know, the night before, the one that discharged him knowing that he was going home to Chris. And I said, first of all, you discharged him, a child. You know, I didn't say who I was. I was just saying in general, you discharge a child just because your child abuse expert only works 9 to 5, but child abuse doesn't just happen 9 to 5. You need an expert available 24/7. Child abuse happens all hours of the day and night. So that needs to change. And, you know, nobody wanted to call me back or talk about it. You know, so those are some changes that should happen. I don't know who to talk to make that happen. I thought just as simple as calling the hospital and talking to, you know, an administrator would have done it, but they won't talk to me about it. I guess they probably realize, you know, who I am, and maybe they're afraid of a lawsuit or something. You know, I also feel that police officers are not trained in child abuse. That's what DCPMP is for. So the 2 police officers that came in contact with Corey just a few days before he passed away, they went for a welfare check because Bree asked them to. And they saw bruising on Corey, and they put the call into DCPMP, and 48 hours later, DCPMP goes and checks it out. That has to change. What if they left that night and Chris decided to take him out that night and they were there? They could have prevented it. So that has to change. But how do you make these changes? I can call the police department and recommend it. Nobody's going to, you know, I don't know how to get these things to happen. I don't know how people in other states are getting these laws written. I don't know how to do it. And unfortunately, my mind isn't, I'm not saying I was ever very bright, but I suffered a little bit mentally, and I can't focus and make these things happen myself. And I don't know who to talk to get things to happen. But I do see things happening in other states, just not here.
So, I would reach out to Missing and Exploited, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and tell them your story and tell them what you want to do. And I think that they will give you a lot of support.
Yeah.
But you know, you can't do everything at one time either. I mean, I don't know how you are. I am very good when there's a lot going on. Like
Right.
I thrive when there's a lot going on. I tend to make more mistakes when there's less things happening. But you've got the book, and the book should be therapeutic for you. It shouldn't be something like, oh my God, like I got to work on the book. That should never be that way. That should never be that way. And when it feels like that way, you got to pull yourself away,
Right.
and then go back to it. And I don't know, I know that the lawsuit is going to happen, and I don't know if that should be something done before or after. But if you just reached out, and you don't even have to do anything but just ask some questions. Ask, you know, will it interfere with the lawsuit? What is it that, just, you know, some like 4 or 5 questions, and then that might be able to help you with, oh, I can't even start that now until after this, or I need to look into that after this. Excuse
Yeah,
me, I
because
am sure that,
I just want to say one. Can I say one thing?
sure.
It has to go before legislation. So, like, if you want to pass a Corey's law, you have to put it before legislation, but that might interfere with your lawsuit. So
Yeah,
you have to reach out to your congressman and the Senate, because that's where it goes.
Right.
yeah. But also, I think that there would be people that could probably help you with that.
Absolutely.
If it, and I, that would be the place that I would go to, is Missing and Exploited Children. Tell them your story. And
Mhm.
I guarantee you that they will at least point you in the direction of, okay, this would be your first step. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're ready, that would be the first place I would go, because they have
Right.
changed so many laws. They have that under their umbrella.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're the ones that do legislation too. They're the one that puts it before legislation and the Senate.
I know Brianna spoke with someone just after sentencing at the governor's office, and she had a meeting with them or something, and I don't know whatever became of that. I just don't know. Again, it's one of those things, if you can't commit, every waking minute to it, it's not going to happen, because you have to keep on somebody to get these things to happen. And we're still trying to survive out here on top of trying to make things happen, and it's hard. It's hard.
Exactly. But that
Yes,
group
and she's
might do
raising a
some of the
family.
work
She's
for
trying to
you.
raise a family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That group might help you with that. Whenever you're ready, if you want to make, I mean, you owe nobody anything. You owe nobody anything. But if that's the way you were going to go, that would be the most supportive group to help you, so that you're not doing this on your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the worst it is a phone call. If it's something that you say, there's too much for me to do right now, I got to put it on hold, at least you would know that.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's just, it's a lot. And
it is an awful lot, especially because you're trying to heal and trying to go on, and you get these hits in the head of memories when you're least expecting it. So nobody's expecting you to be any kind of superhero. The fact that you're still here surviving is enough.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
enough.
surprised I'm still here. I didn't think I was going to be, but I don't know. I don't know what kept me here. I didn't want to be some days, and still some days I'd rather not be, but
You're there for Bray. You're there for Bray.
Yeah.
And you're looking out for Corey's siblings.
Yep.
Yeah. I, sometimes it's not easy to get up every day, but you got to do it.
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that.
Nope.
All right. I'm sorry. What were you saying, Lillian?
I said it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
It's a lot. It definitely is. But we're doing it.
And you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
You really are doing a great job. I follow you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I get a little upset. I think, everybody forgot Corey and his story, because there's unfortunately so many more stories that happen after, and that's pitiful that we hear so much of this, but
yeah, that's why you need a Corey's Law.
Yeah.
Nobody's
but I don't
forgotten
think you
about
can
Corey.
really do that until you settle your lawsuit.
Yeah. I don't personally have a lawsuit at Bree, but it's moving forward. And she just heard the other day there's a court hearing, I believe March maybe 3rd, I don't know. I don't know what the hearing is about. We don't go to these hearings for this case. Her attorney goes. So it's moving in the right direction. It doesn't change anything, just like sentencing, trial. Nothing changed when Chris got sentenced to prison, but this lawsuit's not going to change anything. But it's I was told that when something like this happens, the only way to try and make a family or someone whole again is by compensating them with money. Because what else can they do? They can't go kill Chris to make it even. We would prefer that. If somebody came up and said, hey, if you drop this lawsuit and we let you beat him to death and watch him die and take his last breath alone, we'll be even. I'd say, all right, let's go. That'd be, to me, that'd be great, but that's not how the world works. You sue someone and but that doesn't, like I said, it doesn't change anything.
Money doesn't make anything better.
No, I had, real quick, my nephew's son was killed on his motorcycle. An 85-year-old woman, 80-something-year-old woman was distracted and killed him. And they sued her and they got money. I don't know how much. They bought a beautiful home with that money, but his mom cries every day. It's sad to talk about it.
Because it doesn't bring them back.
No. And she says you almost feel guilty, like you have to justify, well, like Mikey would have wanted me to buy this house, or she says you almost feel guilty using the money to do things, but she just keeps telling herself, well, Mikey would have wanted me to have this big beautiful home, or to do these things, and she's right, he would have, but yeah, there's not enough money in the world to fix.
There's not enough money in the world to replace a child ever.
No. And a lot of people will say, well, if Chris Greggor died tomorrow, would that change anything? Yeah, I'd feel a lot better. I would feel, it would make me feel a little bit better. It really would. I would have a little spring in my step. I'd probably have a little dinner party and celebrate. And I know it sounds sick, but it would make me feel a little bit better.
Well, because you know why? He's in jail getting 3 meals and has housing. Meanwhile, he took your grandson.
He's still alive. He still gets to live.
Yeah,
he
shouldn't get anything. They should take the
Corey
life
doesn't
away
have
from
that
him.
luxury. Corey doesn't get to wake up every day and talk to his mommy, or he took his life from him. He just and it just doesn't seem fair. I think the death penalty should still be a thing in New Jersey.
Absolutely.
I do. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I know I'm just rambling on.
No,
That's
Rebecca.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, Rebecca? Is there anything else that are we gonna listen? I want to do these letters every month.
Good. I'm glad. I appreciate that. I just it does wonders for me, reading this and talking to all of you, and it helps me a lot. I just I don't think I'll ever run out of things to say to him. I just hope I'm always able to write, because I hope I'm able to keep doing it. And because I want to torture him, kind of like how he tortured Corey, but it's in a different way. It's not physical, but that's my goal. These letters and the things I say in them are to, upset him. And it does. I know people think, oh, he doesn't care. I made him cry in family court once. We had to take a 10-minute break because I told him how he was such a disappointment to his father. And he cried in court and we had to take a break, but it's the truth. And I know certain things I say to him are going to bother him, and that's my goal. And I just wish I could physically harm him like he harmed Corey. That would give me a lot of joy and pleasure. I guess that sounds kind of sick to some of you, but it would. I would love to stand over him and watch him take his last breath by himself, looking for mommy or daddy. I would sit and just laugh and watch it happen. And it wouldn't bother me a bit. I could leave and get a quarter pounder and go on my way, and wouldn't bother me a bit to watch him die.
I just have to say that his family, his father, who he looked up to, who was a member of the law, let him do this. Like, I just can't even fathom it.
Yep, they'll deny it. They won't let you know that anything happened in their house. They deny it. Never happened. Didn't see anything. They're full of shit.
You know when you have a monster that lives with you. And he's been a monster for many years.
They know because they lied to DCP&P when they went to their house where Chris was living. and it was happening at their house. They're going to deny that. I'm probably going to get sued for saying it again. I'm going to say it in my book too. So what? But David Greggor lied to DCP&P. He can say what he wants. He can talk about Corey had wonderful, good grades when he was under their care and this, that, and the other thing. You know, he had that when he was with us too. And as soon as they came into the picture, Corey's no longer here. So something happened, you know.
Yeah. And you have signs. There's signs.
Well, they know it. They saw it. They saw it happen.
And I'm sure that the first woman he ever abused was not Bray. It was probably multiple women before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a known fact that he's had a history, and the family was aware of it, and
they just covered it up.
They didn't help him. They could have gotten him help, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I think Chris's problems are deeper than what we all know. I think he has some issues with, you know, who his real father may be.
Right.
That's just an opinion I have and a theory I have. It's not been proven. Probably never will be, but
whatever the reason, there's no reason.
No, I don't care what upbringing you have. You can get beaten every day as a child. As an adult, you know it's wrong. I'm sorry. I can't, you know, I didn't have a great life. I wasn't beaten or anything, but I know right from wrong, you know. I don't know.
Well, I just give you a lot of credit for everything you're doing and supporting your daughter. And I'm so sorry for the loss of your grandson.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to your book.
Well, I'm hoping it'll be out soon. Well, summer. I mean, that's soon. It's, what are we, almost in March? So it's, it'll be out.
You take your time with that, Rebecca, and you
like I said,
that's right.
There are some days I can't write. I try and I'm like, it's not today. It's not a good day. And there are weeks that go by that I don't write at all because I'm not feeling it. And, you know, I have to be in that zone, I guess. I don't, you know, it's, you know, it's just not as easy. Even I thought, oh, well, it's, you know, I lived it. I lived the story. This is going to be so easy. And it's not. It's just,
no, it's not.
It's a hard thing to do. I understand why writers go away and, you know, hibernate somewhere to write a book now. And now I get that, you know, I'm not saying I'm a writer, but you hear of like writers that go rent a cabin somewhere in the woods to write a book. And I get it now, why they have to do that. It's hard.
Well, let me just say, as somebody that used to be a writer, and I was a writer for like 40 years, no lie. And I have books and I have screenplays. I used to write screenplays, and you have to feel it to have it come out of you.
Right.
It doesn't even mean like I never had to be locked away or anything. I could write with a bunch of stuff going on. I would find my place if it needed to come out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you know, and it's for you.
Yeah.
More important, it's for you. So you do it when you're ready to do it, and we're here waiting whenever it's ready for us to read it.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot. And, you know, it's people like you that keep Corey's memory alive. You know, you let me come on here and rant, and I appreciate that.
Anytime, Rebecca, anytime. And I mean that.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next month for sure.
Yes. It's, I can't, February's gone. I just can't believe it got away from me. But, yeah, I'll be writing that soon. So.
And congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I am so happy
excited.
for you.
Yes, congratulations.
I'm nervous. I'm feeling all these different emotions. It's a lot. Bree and I had a conversation probably a week or two ago about, gosh, imagine if you had twins and both were crying at the same time for a bottle. Like, what would you do? You know, we were thinking this, and when she
Well,
called
now
today,
you know.
yeah, we're going to find out, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
but I'm excited. It was meant to be. That's why it's happening. This is how it's supposed to happen, and she'll be fine. She has a good man by her side. His family is, like I said, we're not used to this, and they are just wonderful people. They are so supportive of them, and they're so helpful with Eliana, and I just know they will be with the new two babies. So it's just a good feeling to know that your daughter and your grandchildren are loved by the other family, because like I said, we never had that before. So it's a really good feeling. Like, I don't have to worry as much. There's another family, who's
Right.
just as worried. So
Right.
I'm grateful for them. So it's life
Well,
is
thank you
good.
very. It was nice meeting you both
Thank you.
because I
You
really
too.
Thank
never
you.
actually spoke to you, Rebecca. It was very nice meeting you, and I will
You
definitely
too.
follow you
Thank
more.
you. Thank you.
And you take care. Don't give up hope.
Nope, I'm hanging in there. I'm gonna do what I need to do.
And when are those babies due?
October.
Oh, an October baby. Yay.
Yeah, my birthday's in October, and Brianna's sister's birthday is in October. So we'll see. You know.
I just had a granddaughter that was born last October.
Oh wow. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that just leaves us, lady.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm sorry we ramble on.
No. Stop apologizing. There's no need to apologize. Anytime, and I mean that. Anytime you want to
I
come on and
appreciate
talk
that.
or bring awareness, you're bringing awareness. That's important,
Yeah.
you know.
I like having the other people on too. That was kind of cool. I don't know how it happened, but I'm
They
glad
were
it
all
did.
here waiting, and because I didn't know what the announcement was, I was like, "What's the announcement?" There's a lot of people here, and I honestly thought that you were like, "Well, I'm going live. If you want to share the announcement, go." So I really thought that these people were here for you. I had not a clue. That's why I asked.
I just shared the I guess, did you post it in Justice for Corey? And then I shared it on my
Yeah.
Facebook. I don't know, but I like it. I thought it was kind of nice, and to answer a few questions, because a lot of people still have questions, that maybe they
Listen,
didn't.
we could do this format next time if you want to.
I
That's
love it. I
fine.
thought it was great. As long as you're okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just didn't know who the people were and I didn't understand what was going on, but I don't have a problem doing that if you don't have a
Yeah.
problem doing that at all.
No, I think it was good. And I think people enjoy that. They can ask questions. They can talk about how they feel and share some of their own experiences, that brought them to Justice for Corey and other, crime shows, like, things that you cover and all the other good stuff. What's going on with Gypsy Rose? I have to ask you. you're my official. I
gotta be honest with you. It's the gypsy verse that has had me busy lately. So those are the peripherals actually with other content creators and stuff, which is unfortunate. But Gypsy has been, not very attached to her baby, apparently.
If there is one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's too bad that we got to sit here and try to figure that out.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
But so she's on, is it Life After Lockup? Is a new season coming in March. So if there's a baby, I would assume it's going to be on. Are they not going to show anything about
so the filming was done before the baby was born, apparently.
Okay. All right.
So but I don't know what to believe with isn't that ridiculous though? Like,
it is, but
somebody says they're pregnant, the last thing you say usually is, I don't believe you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the last thing you usually say. But with Gypsy, the first thing you always say when she opens her mouth is, I might not believe you.
Yeah. And what about Nick? What's going on with I know you had all the letters and
so the clemency letters went out, and I think they're gonna try for clemency, I want to say at least get his stuff together by March 1st. I kind of actually have just done the clemency letters and kind of walked away from that situation simply because I don't know who's working with him and who's working against him. And there was,
It's hard to tell.
when I was starting to do the clemency letters, there was a bunch of people that were just trying to distract me and ended up doxing a bunch of people and stuff. So I just did the clemency letters, and then there was some police reports and some Department of Justice, this, and then oh God, just a bunch of stuff, state police and stuff from doxing and information found about some manipulation with Nick and just some crazy stuff, just stuff that shouldn't happen.
Right. Well, you know what? You did a good thing for him. By doing what you did, and you have to walk away, and now you gave it to whomever. And
exactly. I'm not saying that I
doing.
wouldn't do anything else for him, but I certainly would not establish myself with the same group that I thought that I was working with. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need a group to do something. I don't need that, you know?
Right. Exactly.
So, you know,
I just, I don't know the whole case with him and Gypsy. I just don't understand how two people were supposedly involved in this crime, and one's living life and one's not. I can't understand it. And he is, I'm going to say, special needs. I don't know if that's the right term. I'm trying not to offend anybody. I don't understand how. Was anybody present when he was questioned? Did he understand what he was agreeing to? There's so many questions, and it's not right. That's another thing that needs to be changed, in the world, it's just not right. It's unheard of.
Right. Exactly. And that's something that, I am part of that. So I am, trying to help.
I almost say he's kind of like a small child. Well, you're going to give me candy and soda. So, I'll say what you want me to say then, if you're going to give me that. And she was giving him, whatever she was giving him when they were together. To him, he's going to say whatever she wanted him to say because, that girl's going to come back and do, that's how I kind of imagine it went, maybe.
Well, if you go, have you ever seen his interrogation tape?
No, a little bits and pieces. I've never really sat and watched
you don't have to really sit and watch it. You can actually play it at 1.5 speed and clean your house. There's nothing to watch. So you could listen to it, right? And here's the thing is that I don't think that Gypsy was prepared for Nick to believe in the police so much. So he didn't know that the police could lie to him. You know what I'm saying? So when the police, the woman in detective said to him, Gypsy told us everything. And if you're honorable, you want to be honorable here, so she somehow knew all the words because she's had the experience. Not that she somehow knew, she had the experience on how to interrogate. But he never, she should have said, maybe she didn't know how autistic he was. I don't know, but he should have been able to have said, and I don't think he had enough foresight to say, hey, I need an attorney.
But his mother, nobody stepped up.
Because he was already being questioned. When the mother came into play at that point, it was after. Because he
just got picked up and carted off to jail, and he's not seen the light of day since.
Yeah, basically.
Wow. Even in court, though, this didn't come to the judge.
No, his mitigating circumstances were never taken into consideration, and her fake mitigating circumstances were taken into consideration. That's the issue that I have. Just let his mitigating circumstances be taken into consideration as much as her fake one. So that's all I wanted. give him a fair shot. That's all I wanted, you know.
Right.
And the fact that, you know, he was under her coercive control because, you know, for 2 years he kept telling her, no, I don't want to do it. No, let's just leave. Let's just leave. And, you know, she played him. All those text messages show that. What's facts is facts. Those text messages are facts. You can't go back and change that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, the only hope is Nick doesn't have anything but clemency now. So he's gone through all his appeals.
Wow.
Somebody messed with him while he was incarcerated so that he wouldn't see the light of day. So, you know, and you know, there was a content creator that took she was very proud to have a Nick infiltration group. So how would you like to be sitting in jail, right? And you know, all your appeals go to shit because somebody doesn't want to see you out. That you can't go in there and manipulate inmates. And that seems to be something that somebody did, but the police are going to take care of that. You know, Department of Justice is going to take care of that. State police, FBI, I don't know. I mean, that went to so many places that my head's spinning and I don't even know about it. And I don't want to know. People have asked me questions. I don't want to know.
Right.
My hands are clean. Anybody who's got dirty hands needs to worry about that.
Right.
And I get a lot of people that try to explain things to me. Some I understand, and some it's just like, man, don't tell me your story, man. When the police come to you, tell them your story. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then there are some people that I've grown to really think, wow, it's too bad that they were involved with that one person, because that one person is so poisonous that they can get in trouble, you know, for being, because this person, this content creator, they're not going to take responsibility for what they did. They're going to throw the responsibility on people that might not even have anything to do with it. But I'd like to think that the police will come and you know, do a thorough investigation and get the right people involved in this. But I have nothing to do with that, you know.
Yeah. Well,
so, but you can't go messing with people, especially the guy that, you know, if he did everything Gypsy told him to do, which is what she said he did, why isn't he her hero?
she just needed somebody that was going to do it. She just wanted to be free. She didn't want to do it. I don't think he did it. I think, whatever, my opinion. I
think he unalived an unalive person too.
That's what I think. She made him think he did it.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
But
what I think
yeah,
as well.
no, I just, God, that bothers me though, that this guy is away for the rest of his life and she's out still manipulating and, you know, I don't want to say getting rich, but I mean, she makes money.
Oh no, she's getting rich. Absolutely, she's getting rich. Are you kidding me? She's got book deals. She's got television shows. What I call that's good money.
I thought it was so. You had me like pee in my pants when you were reading her book. Some of the, I couldn't. I thought, wow, somebody actually published this. Like, maybe I do have a shot. You know,
that book was crap. What I was just gonna say, whatever you do, don't work with that woman. Work with the one you're working with. Don't work with that.
I couldn't believe that was the stuff you were reading. Though I was cracking up. I'm like, oh my, that's. I don't know.
So imagine your dad hearing that. Imagine your daughter. You wrote that book for your daughter. Imagine when your daughter turns 18 years old, like your daughter wants to hear that shit.
Right.
Imagine your husband. Imagine, you know, your boyfriend, your boyfriend's mom. Like there's like, it's weird, right?
It is. And you know what I found odd? I used to watch when I guess her and her mother were on, what was the name of the show? She was on TV before with the mother, and they showed where they got the house from Habitat for Humanity and all this. And I don't remember her having a father. Where did he come from, this father?
So Rod was 17 when Dee Dee, I think, was 22 or 25. There's an age difference between the two of them. And she really liked him, I guess. And you know, he supposedly drank a lot at the time, but he got her pregnant and he thought that he would do the right thing. But unfortunately, there's some things that have come up about Rod that has been proven to be untrue. He says that he paid child support and never always paid it. But then, I have, documents that say that Dee Dee sued him for child support because he was in arrears. So, I mean, when somebody starts telling you an untruth, it's like, well, now what do I believe? You know what I'm saying? So, why was him and his wife Christy in that house before the crime scene?
Yeah,
They didn't even live in the same state. So what's up with that?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions that will probably, hopefully, get answered one day. But yeah, I don't know. I just never knew I mean, obviously she had a father. I mean, everybody does, but I don't remember him ever being mentioned. And, they were getting all this stuff, for Gypsy being.
Well, when he was a part of her life. There's pictures. I mean, in all fairness, there are pictures of him and her throughout, her childhood and stuff. I just recently saw a picture that I never saw before of him looking at her, and she's about 5 or 6, 7 in a tree, which, okay, I know that he probably put her in that tree, but are you going to really put somebody sick and somebody who's that fragile?
Well, I mean, do we know, was she really sick with any of that stuff? I mean,
So
did
she
she
had
have?
she had a micro deletion. So she does have, if you look into the micro deletion, a lot of the symptoms before they could find out what it was, they were legitimate. So like the licking of the lips, the salivary glands, the eyes, all of that stuff. And she might become more tired than the average kid walking and stuff. So that was supposedly why the wheelchair. But then I think what happened was they realized when they got to after Hurricane Katrina, when they were able to leave Louisiana and start anew, and she probably wasn't getting child support consistently back then, that she came up with this brilliant idea. I'm talking about Dee Dee, to live a better life. But in the meantime, was Gypsy abused? No. The most she had was she got her hair done, her hair, shaved. But so did her mom the first time. Like they both shaved their heads,
Right.
But she could have looked at her daughter, who was very smart. Gypsy was smart, as a kid. If you see the video of where's your cranium and where's this, and she's doing, Gypsy's intelligent, right? So if her mom, and this is just a theory, if her mom said, listen, I can't get any help. There is a way for us to live a certain kind of life, but this is what we have to do it. Gypsy could have very well had said, okay, mom, let's try it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know, because when Gypsy's mouth is moving like an addict, she's lying.
Right. Exactly.
So there's no credibility on her end, and she could blame herself for that. She could tell me she was on fire and I could see her burning in front of me and I wouldn't believe it. So, but she did that to herself. My question is this: if somebody had their mom unalived, how do you let them into your home and feel safe when you weren't around at all? So how does the stepmom, that's my thing, because you would think, good reason, Gypsy's got a lot of bad feelings towards her stepmom, right? Because her dad raised 2 kids with that woman. Right. Forget if Christy's good, bad, and different. The normal thing would be, why did you raise those 2 kids with that woman and I wasn't good enough that you were with me? And supposedly, if Rod was told that his daughter can only live to be 18 years old, where the hell was he? Like, if somebody says, you look, man, your kid's probably only going to live. And that's what he says. He was told by Dee Dee that she was going to maybe live 16, 17, 18. He disappears? Oh, what the hell? What if you are a caring, loving dad and somebody says that to you, you would say, shit, what is it going to take for you guys to come and live with me, come live by me at least, so that I can enjoy and show my daughter that I love her for the 18 years that God's going to give her here. Right. None of this makes any sense. None of it makes any sense.
No, it doesn't.
So, I don't know.
So where does Gypsy lives with her father right now or by herself?
Supposedly, no. Supposedly on parole, she can't live. She has to live with her mom and with her stepmom and her dad.
Well, but originally she had to live with the husband that she got rid of, right?
Right. Yeah. And she can't live with Ken, but supposedly Ken has a house about an hour and a half away, I guess, from where they live. And she supposedly spends time there. But you never know the truth. Here's somebody on parole that went to a Post Malone concert that was in a casino, and on live, she's asking for somebody's giving her a Cosmopolitan. Here's your Cosmopolitan. So all of it's all messed up. Like, listen, Jen was on my Jen, who didn't have any kind of violent act. But it was drugs that Jen was incarcerated for, and she was on parole. And, she worked at a place that served alcohol, and that was a big deal.
Right.
That was a big deal. So I don't know what the hell's going on there, but I know that the parole board on both Louisiana and in Missouri, both have been bombarded by letters of people that are pissed off, people that have been on parole and want to know why she's so special.
Right. One of the I thought for most, people on parole, they have to have gainful employment. So is what she does considered gainful employment?
So, in all fairness, not that she's any kind of author, because I don't think that she did anything for that book except maybe, I don't know. I don't even know. She didn't pick up a pen and write anything. I don't believe that for a second. So I guess if you say that you're an author and you get an income, that is employment, right?
Right. Yeah.
And she shouldn't be allowed on social media because the crime was construed on social media. That's how she got in touch with Nick and everything.
Yeah.
But she is on TikTok, and I know that she gets money from TikTok and gifts. People actually send her gifts. Imagine, like, what world do we live in where somebody admitted to having somebody kill their mom, and then you still have people gifting them like they're some sort of celebrity.
You see it all the time. The women that are writing to these men on death row and they're going to marry them. And I mean, I don't know. It's appealing to some people, I guess. I don't get I don't know. I don't get it, but it happens.
It's crazy. Yeah, you would think, there was the Son of Sam law, which, says that you can't profit from your crime, right? Mm-hmm. And that was from Berkowitz, David Berkowitz, son of Sam in New York. Remember the Summer of Sam, right? Mm-hmm. So that law was passed, but it didn't seem to be like a national law. It seemed to be like a state thing. And what I found about Louisiana is that their laws are different because they follow more like the French law. Like, for example, the whole way about getting the divorce between Ryan and Gypsy, there was something in the divorce or something in the birth or something. I think it's something in the birth certificate, excuse me, that didn't have to be shown because of like So I guess birth certificates, there's something that's in every state we can get it to you can request a copy of it. In the state of Louisiana, because they follow French law, it doesn't exist there. So she commits a crime in a state in Missouri, right? She commits a crime in Missouri where there's no accessory law. So she couldn't even get accessory to the murder charge. How lucky is that? And then she's in a state now that doesn't even have to prove that she actually gave birth to a child.
Wow.
So what's going on here? Is she really that friggin' lucky, or is she really that manipulative? Like,
right. You gotta wonder.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. Yeah, for sure. So
I hate
it's
to
interesting.
say it, but I'm actually going to tune in and watch her show.
No, I'm going to watch it too because I got a report on it.
Yeah, just because I want to make sure I'm current for when you talk about it. I know what we're talking about, but I hate to watch it. I don't want to give her that audience, but I mean, at the same time, you're curious,
Absolutely. And I watch it. I watch it because I want to report on it. And I'd love to have you up as a guest panel so that you could talk about that.
Oh, God, then she's going to come looking for me. Are you kidding me? I don't need that shit. I got enough crazy in my life.
Okay.
No, I will. I don't care. I welcome crazy. It's okay.
Well, I will give you an invitation and you'll accept it or you won't. How's that?
No, I think it would be fun. I would love to do that.
I would love that. I would love that.
It'd be nice. I don't know why I'm so intrigued by her. It just has a lot to do with, like I said, the reason, she's out, the other guy's not. And I don't know that for some reason, I don't know.
It's not right.
No. And
that guy, I can tell you this. She got on that dating site for maybe a different reason. He got on that dating site to find love. That was his only crime.
And he found her. Oh my gosh.
And then she works on him for 2 years. So
horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But
Exactly.
I wish that Nick could get. I don't know. I don't know what I would expect, but I think I said on one of your shows once before in the comments, if anything, if they could let him out of jail and just put him in a group home and monitor him that way, it would be a little less restrictive, maybe. I don't know.
I agree.
It's so unfair. It's unfair, that she's out and he's not. And
I feel the same exact way, but again, the only thing I want is for them to look at his mitigating circumstances and consider them as much as they considered her mitigating circumstances.
And why didn't they?
Because she took a plea deal and rolled on him. And that's what happened. And then there's talk to the DA was getting reelected or somebody was getting reelected and they couldn't afford to make they thought that if they throw her in jail because so the lawyer came up with the Munchausen. There wasn't that. We know that, right? So he came up with that, or Christy came up with that and put it in his ear. That's what they went with. And this guy, Nick, has just been fucked over so many times that it's just, but that's what happened. He never had a fair shot. He went to trial and tried to, hope that the system would be fair to him. And he didn't have a fair shot. He just didn't have a fair shot. But it's not up to me where they would put him. I just want him to have a fair shot. Whatever the judge or anybody decides to do, as long as he has a fair shot, that's all I care about. If they say, hey, listen, it doesn't change anything, but he had a fair shot, I would say he probably still didn't have a fair shot. But you know what I'm saying? At least I did everything I could. The community has done everything that they could. But if they just, even said, okay, give him 25 years. Okay, 25 years or if they said, he's got to be on probation for the rest of his life with an ankle monitor and he can't go anywhere, that,
Right.
whatever it is, as long as his circumstances would be considered, is all I care about.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Oh, anyway, I could talk about this all night.
Well, I'm gonna actually, we will talk about one of the shows when it comes on. We'll talk about that. I would
Definitely.
love to have you on for
I
that.
can't wait. It's coming up soon, right? March. I forgot the date now.
You probably know better than me because it changed. It was supposed to happen in February and they changed it.
Yeah, I forgot what date. I'm gonna have to look it up later. But yeah, I know it's. I can't wait. But all right. Well, I've kept you long enough.
It's my pleasure, Rebecca. Always my pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate everything that you do for everybody. And I will be in touch next month, if not sooner.
Okay, Rebecca, take care of yourself. And thank you, as always, for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, chat. See you later.